please welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, did you ever think you'd be back?
Cheers.
Excited to be back. Don't worry. I got this nice throwback Gatorade can.
Well played.
Caitlin Clark just shocked everyone with a bold, unfiltered Zoom interview alongside WNBA legends Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. From the moment she popped up on screen, it was obvious this wasn't going to be your average feel-good chat. It was honest, intense, and completely pulled back the curtain on her journey to the WNBA. From gritty college showdowns to locker room whispers, nothing was off-limits, and Caitlin delivered it all with her signature wit and undeniable charm.
Product placement.
There we go.
Our show loves it. Our show loves it.
But what exactly did Caitlin reveal? And why is the entire basketball world buzzing right now? Stick around, because she didn't hold back. She spoke candidly about Paige Buchers, didn't shy away from addressing Diana Taurasi, and even took aim at the rumors Cheryl Swoops has been spreading about her team. Ready for the tea? Let's dive in. It all ties back to the callback heard round the internet. 1 year ago, Diana Taurasi stared straight into the camera and delivered a now iconic warning to Caitlin Clark. Reality is coming. And oh, did Caitlin have a response?
What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
Fast forward to this year, and let's just say, Diana had to eat those words. Caitlin's response? A smirk, a cool nod, and that signature confident smile. The vibe was electric, witty, playful, and sharp. But don't get it twisted. It was more than just charm. It was a statement, loud and clear.
Congrats on your retirement, D.
Thank you.
And congrats
now,
to you.
Unfortunately, reality is coming to me now.
What's your big plans? What are you going to do?
I keep telling Sue I thought I was going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm more busy now. So if I give you any advice, play as long as possible.
We'll see. We'll get to 10 years. Then we'll think about it.
10 years.
For Diana Taurasi, stepping onto the court with Caitlin Clark wasn't just another game, it was a generational moment. Reflecting on their first showdown in Phoenix, Taurasi didn't hold back on describing the atmosphere. It felt like the last game ever played. The energy was electric, the hype undeniable. But this wasn't just about basketball. It was about witnessing a torch being passed right before our eyes. With genuine admiration, Diana spoke about how surreal it was to finally share the floor with players she'd watched light up the college game for years.
What was it like for you two to play against each other?
It was amazing. I've been following Caitlin for so long and been watching her college career just in awe. And to be on the court and the first game was in Phoenix, and it felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. There was such anticipation. The crowd was going crazy. All the people that came out to see Caitlin and our teams play against each other. It really was an amazing moment. And you talked about how, if you could play against anyone that is this new generation. So I got to cross paths with Caitlin, at least for a couple games. And to me, that meant a lot, Like, we've been doing this for a long time, and to see Caitlin do what she does is, I think someone said the other day, I'm like, I want the season to start so I can watch you again.
Caitlin's take? Just as classy, but with that trademark edge. She remembered that Phoenix matchup vividly, and this time, it was personal. We were down like 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won, she said, pride unmistakable in her voice. That comeback wasn't just another number on the scoreboard, it was a statement. A defining moment for her and her squad. Going toe-to-toe with a legend like Taurasi and pulling off the win? That's the kind of game that builds belief. And Caitlin made sure everyone knew it.
And what it was like to play against D.
Well, I was saying, that game in Phoenix, because we only played in Phoenix one time. And it was before Olympic break. Obviously, we had All-Star there too, but it was a great game. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we were down 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won. That was our first win versus a team that was above 500. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Great.
But beneath all the competitive fire, there was a deep sense of mutual respect. That moment in Phoenix became bigger than just a game. It was a clash of eras, unfolding in real time. Caitlin and Diana might be at opposite ends of their careers, but the mark they are leaving on the sport? That's timeless. As they laughed and reminisced, trading jabs and smiles, one thing was crystal clear. This wasn't just playful banter. It was basketball's past and future, side by side, in perfect sync.
Caitlin, how excited are you for this next WNBA season? New head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, it seems like, from the outside, this roster's ready to compete now, which is easy for us to say. We know there's a process to get there, but when you see that and you see those names come in, what does that make you feel like?
Caitlin Clark isn't just entering the new WNBA season with momentum, she's coming in fully loaded. Talking about her revamped roster, her excitement was hard to miss. With new head coach Stephanie White at the helm, seasoned vets like Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner, sharpshooters like Sophie Cunningham, and defensive anchors like Sydney Colson and Brianna Turner, Caitlin knows exactly what each name brings to the table. But she's also realistic. 7 new players and a short runway to build chemistry? That's no small task. Still, Caitlin's already in figure-it-out mode, and she's leaning all the way in.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously on paper we have a really good team, but, you only have, we start training camp, I think, on the 27th, and then, we have a back-to-back of preseason games on May 3rd and May 4th. So it's you have a very short amount of time to put that together, and 7 new pieces, and whether we carry 11 or 12, more than half of our roster, that's a hard thing within itself, but we should be pretty good. And I'm excited about it. I think what we needed was, we added a lot more experience. In the playoffs, we just didn't have that. We were a young group. Even Kels, obviously with being with the Fever during her entire career, she hasn't really had the opportunity to play in a ton of playoff games. So having that, whether it's Sydney Colson, whether it's DB, whether it's Natasha Howard, whoever it is, I think having that experience is going to be really good for us and that leadership in the locker room. So I'm excited.
And it's not just her mindset that's leveled up, her physical game is turning heads too. When asked about that viral off-season photo where her arms looked noticeably more jacked, Caitlin couldn't help but burst into laughter.
And there was the viral picture that went around showing off your guns. Everyone's wondering, have you been hitting the weight room? Was it the camera angle? What happened there?
How did you do that? I've been trying to do that for 20 years.
AI is getting out of control. Come on.
But then came the real talk. Caitlin admitted she'd been putting in serious hours in the weight room. Not to just look the part, but to feel more dominant every time she steps on the court. She even broke down the specifics, working on her floater, finishing through contact, and mastering the mid-range. It's clear, she's not just training to keep up. She's training to take over.
So what are you doing in the off-season working on your game?
You're trying to get stronger, a lot of time in the weight room, and it's something I kind of enjoy, so it's been pretty easy for me to spend time in there and really work on that part of my game. And I think the biggest thing on the court is just that mid-range area. I got pretty uncomfortable in there when I would get in there, whether that's I didn't really have any floater. I didn't like taking a mid-range jump shot, so just getting more comfortable when I get my feet kind of into pain, and honestly trying to just add a floater to my game, and finishing through contact and little things like that. But I think just going back to the weapons that we've added this year, there's going to be so many different things that we're able to do that I think it'll be able to make my life a little bit easier, and should make everybody's life a little bit easier on our team.
That kind of self-awareness is rare, especially for someone just starting out in their pro career. But Caitlin's already carrying herself like a seasoned vet. I kind of enjoy it, she said of the grind, referring to both the physical work and the leadership demands that come with managing a roster full of stars. She knows the spotlight is intense and the expectations even more so, but she's not backing down. She's leaning in. And remember when Cheryl Swoops claimed the Indiana Fever locker room was toxic? Yeah, Caitlin hasn't forgotten either.
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Well, Caitlin Clark finally tackled that issue head on.
that whole week was like, Indiana, they don't get along, all this. And I'm like, great. And then I'm like, this is the most together team I've ever seen.
Is that one of the hardest things for you as a pro now? Just seeing all the narratives like that one, that your team didn't get along and just having to literally ignore it, deal with it, even though you know it's not true?
She confirmed what we all knew all along. What Swoop said simply wasn't true.
I think it's something you kind of just become used to. It's like people think they know what's going on inside of your locker room and they just don't. At the end of the day, it's just, the girls that you have in there, and then obviously your coaching staff, and that's all that matters. And honestly, the best thing about last year is we honestly had so much fun together. Yeah, we lost our first 8 games or whatever, but we wouldn't have won if we didn't have a tight-knit circle or a good locker room. And that's the reason we kind of turned everything around, is just we needed some time. We were a young group and, we figured it out. But yeah, it was really fun, honestly.
Caitlin Clark knows what it's like to go to battle against UConn, and she remembers every single moment. We played them 3 times, she recalled, listing matchups from the Phil Knight tournament to the Sweet 16, and finally in the Final Four. Each game was a test, and each time, Gino Auriemma's team was ready. They always had the best scouts against me, she said. You could tell how smart he is.
So when you play against a Coach Auriemma coached team, what kind of beast is that?
Well, I think they just are so disciplined. That's just, they're going to do what they do. They're going to do it really well. And also I think for myself, facing his teams, they always had some of the best scouts against me. You can tell how smart he is.
Yeah.
He understands the game. He's coached against so many really good players. And, there were games I would go into and the scouts were just it was just come on, why are you going under ball screens? Why are you in drop coverage? But he just made it difficult.
That wasn't just flattery. It was frustration mixed with respect. Whether it was different defensive schemes or elite defenders hounding her full court, Caitlin made it clear that UConn never made things easy. He always had something in his back pocket, she said about Gino, and that made every game feel like a chess match.
He would throw different defenders at me, and obviously having Nika Mule last year, she's probably one of the better defenders that I've faced. She's just up in your grill. She'll pick you up 94 feet. But then he just always has an answer, has different people. And I think that's one of the best things about him. He has one game plan, but then he has something in his back pocket that he can go to. Yeah. And that's going to bother you again.
But it's not just the program Caitlin respects. It's the players, too. When asked about Paige Buchers, her tone instantly shifted to admiration. Her poise, Caitlin said, that's something you need coming into the W. She praised Paige's calm, mature presence on the court, noting how nothing ever seems to rattle her.
When you watch Paige play and you see her in the next level, what are the things that obviously she's going to take to the WNBA and it's going to translate instantly? And what are the things that, it takes you a couple games to get used to?
I think her poise, that's something you need coming into the W. It all hits you so fast. Is you're moving to a new city, you're trying to understand new teammates, you have a new coach, while you're trying to live up to all these expectations. And I think that's one of the greatest things about her game is just her poise and her maturity, and nothing ever seems to faze her.
She can score at all 3 levels, Caitlin added, calling Paige's mid-range game one of the best she's ever seen. That's high praise coming from someone who's dominated at every level. But Caitlin didn't stop there. She also highlighted Paige's versatility. She can play point guard or off the ball, she said. That'll be interesting next to R.
I think she'll honestly fit right in, so it'll be, and
so
that arena's fun to play in too. It's a small place.
Yeah.
It's loud. Honestly, they should move every game to American Airlines, because I think Paige has that type of draw. She'll be able to bring those type of fans in. I know we're playing there one of our games. Hopefully the other one gets moved too. We would appreciate that, Dallas Wings, if you can move the other one. But
I love this.
A conversation's getting good when it shifts to technical fouls, and with Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and Caitlin Clark all in the mix, it definitely didn't disappoint.
Speaking of how much D loved refs and technicals and ejections, here's the time Diana got ejected and sent me this photo from the locker room.
Oh my God, got tossed.
Got tossed.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Dee, tell us.
Yeah,
what happened?
The segment quickly turned into a comedic therapy session With everyone owning up to their less than peaceful moments on the court, Diana proudly embraced her reputation, sharing how she once got tossed after picking up a tech in both the first and third quarters. It was time to go home, she laughed.
I think I picked one up quick in the first quarter, which is you're always doomed when you pick up a quick one. And then I picked one up in the third quarter and it was time to go home. So I took my ass to the back and chilled out, and my team got the win, and we went from there. But
How
I
many
had to make.
technicals did you get last year?
Say that again, Kaylin.
How many technicals did you get last year?
So last year, I think I think the limit is 7, and
It's
you
7.
get suspended.
Yeah, you got 6.
I got 6.
Sue, on the other hand, bragged about her knee-perfect record, earning eye rolls and playful teasing from both sides. That's when the spotlight turned to Caitlin. I got 6, she admitted, referring to the WNBA's 7-tech limit. Then, with deadpan delivery, she added, half of mine weren't even for talking to refs.
And I got 2 for slapping the stanchion of the hoop, and then I got another one for accidentally hitting somebody in the eye. So half of mine weren't even like me getting to talk to the ref, which was dumb.
Yeah. I hate those side technicals. It's like, just look away. Why are you looking at me?
Act like you didn't
Just
see
go
it.
call the foul. No. What are you looking at me for?
Even with all the laughs, there was a serious edge underneath it. Caitlin understands the optics, the expectations, and the leadership role she's stepping into. That's why she wrapped up with a subtle promise to her coach, Stephanie White, to keep the fire, but not cross the line. Still, when asked to set an over-under for her techs this season, she confidently promised just 2. Diana and Sue, however, didn't hesitate to take the over.
I got 6 too.
I
But
had
this
2
year,
my whole career.
Hey, you
This year
got
I'm
a couple
not.
too. I can see it. Yeah.
oh wow, Stu, you're so perfect. That's good.
Okay, Caitlin, over under technicals.
The
next
refs
year.
love me.
I'm going 4.5. Over
Caitlin?
under.
Over.
Over 4.5.
Under.
I'm going over 2.
I already told.
No
I already
way.
Told,
No
I already
way.
told Steph too. Max.
2.
And it's more games.
Oh, it's
Well,
more
the
games.
thing is, look,
The
I
odds are
was
against
close-
you.
I was close to getting suspended for our last game, and like obviously every front office or your GM like tries to like get your technicals taken away, and they wouldn't take any of mine away.
As the interview came to a close, the laughter continued to echo. Diana playfully teased Caitlin about the infamous WNBA All-Star setup game, calling it a trap for the rookies. Caitlin, cup in hand, simply smiled and replied, "I had a great time." It was a full-circle moment, with basketball legends and the league's rising star exchanging stories about wild games and the kind of chaos that makes the WNBA unforgettable. As Sue and Diana wished Caitlin luck for the upcoming season, it was clear Caitlin Clark isn't just part of the conversation anymore, she is the conversation.
You want to be like her or you want to be like me? This is your choice this year. This is your choice.
It's like the
I'll be in
angel
the
of the
middle.
devil.
I'll be in the middle. Don't worry.
In the middle. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, guys, I don't know if you saw, but this is turning into a little bit of a blowout. A little bit of
Oh my God.
We are going to take a look at some memories. Caitlin versus Dee in the All-Star game in Phoenix. As Diana likes to call it, the ultimate.
That's the setup game.
It's a setup game.
Caitlin, when you're on the next national team, don't play in that game. It's the ultimate setup.
It's a setup.
It's a setup.
You guys are all
None of
loose.
you guys.
You guys are all loose.
Smile. I was having fun.
I had a great
You
time.
fun.
I had a great time.
Yeah,
I
look
had
at
my
Sue.
cup in my hand. I had a great time.
Who's having the best
Sue
time
was,
ever?
Sue said
Caitlin,
she was
thank you
rooting
so-
for the team WNBA.
I was on that side of the court.
Caitlin Clark didn't just join the conversation, she took control of it. In a room, or rather a Zoom, with 2 of the greatest to ever play the game, she proved that she's more than just hype. She's sharp, grounded, and possesses the kind of edge that earns nods of approval from legends. From playful jabs to moments of raw honesty, Caitlin demonstrated exactly why the future of women's basketball is in great hands. If this interview is any indication of what's to come, both on and off the court, we're in for something truly special. Let us know in the comments how excited you are. Training camp is just weeks away, and preseason is less than a month out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss an update. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you next time.